Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and another episode on Raj's Garage. We are back here at Northway Porsche. A few days ago, I had a call from Paul to say that the 964 turbo engine rebuild is now complete. He's been testing the car, he's put some miles on the car, and he said the car is ready to collect. Got loads of photos of all the components and the engine rebuild. Let's find Paul and let's talk about this engine rebuild, shall we? Over here working on a Porsche, obviously. Hello Paul.
Hello mate.
How are we doing?
Yeah, good, you?
Working as per usual, hey?
Yeah, never ends, mate.
No rest for the wicked.
No, that's it.
So I got a great call from you the other day.
Yeah.
My turbo is ready to collect, and I've got to say, I've missed that car. I really have. Even though the weather last few weeks has been horrendous, I've just been lusting for that car. There's something about that turbo that none of the other Porsches can replace. And I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from.
Because you asked me which one's my favourite.
Yeah.
Now you know why.
We've had discussions off camera as well. It's something about a 964 turbo that just puts a smile on your face. Don't get me wrong, cars like this put a smile on your face, but that turbo just is something else.
Yeah.
So I've got loads of photos. They're in black and white.
Yeah.
But at least we can go through some of the bits that you've replaced.
Yeah.
We'll have a discussion. We'll talk about running in and so on.
Yeah.
So shall we go outside and have a chat?
Go and have a look.
My turbo. She looks gorgeous.
Shiny, isn't it?
Very shiny.
Yeah.
Very, very, very shiny.
Yeah.
Now, externally she looks very shiny.
Do you want to have a look?
Shiny underneath there as well now.
Well, from what you can see, obviously with the intercooler in the way.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, well, first and foremost, I can see a nicely, freshly painted fan.
Yeah. So that was the main key point. A lot of people do have the fan painted. Some people do it in body colour. Obviously it's easy with yours because it's just
Black.
Black with black. It does brighten up the engine bay a little bit. Like I said, it's a bit difficult with an intercooler in the way. The other bits that are painted are more the tinware going around the engine. You can't see that from the top.
We showed you that in the previous episode,
yeah.
if you recall.
Yeah, so those bits have all been powder coated. You can, if you get in there with a torch, look down and see all around there, but it just aesthetically, especially when, for me, when I'm putting it back together, you're not putting old looking parts back on an engine. So yeah, it makes it look a lot better.
So, you know, in relation to what you've sent here,
Yeah.
shall we talk about the challenges? Were there any challenges that you faced when putting the engine back together?
No, yours was actually pretty straightforward going back together. Because
Okay.
obviously we'd already discussed what we were going to do, components we talked about. Yes, there's new chains, new big end bearings, new main bearings, even down to conrod bolts. So we put the ARP ones in there for you. Head studs, you can see the new ones there in the pictures. Cylinder heads, which have all been refurbed with the new valves in there as well. New guides. Yeah, so now we're getting back onto the ancillaries on the top. So you can see your fan housing back on there, obviously engine cowling. Those are your new inlet stacks that we talked about before that were all corroded on the Bakelite underneath.
They're the rubber ones, is that correct?
They're not rubber, they're like a Bakelite.
Okay.
And that's what I'd like, literally crumbled and eroded away underneath. So you're not getting, you can see the gasket on the top there. So they're like an intermediate piece.
Sure.
The injector sits into that, or screws into that housing, so you've got a gasket top and bottom. And it was the bottom section of it where it bolts onto the top of the cylinder head, where it just started to erode away. You're going to get air leaks around that area. Car's not going to run as well. But yeah, it's all gone back in, no problems at all.
And in terms of testing, what road testing have you done?
So we've done probably around about 60 miles in it now. It's got running in oil in there. We use the running in oil exactly as it says, just
the running in oil is different to the normal oil that you would put in.
Exactly that. So we had one in the past on a 993 engine, whereby when you fired it up in the morning, after you got the car back about 200-300 miles, it was smoking on startup. We even stripped the engine all the way back down. Everything was perfect. Couldn't find anything actually wrong with it. And it ended up being that the actual rings themselves were polished on the outside edges. And that was because of the quality of oil. The oil was that good that it wouldn't allow the engine to bed in.
Right.
So hence why we say now, especially like last time you were over here, run the car, You've got to do around about 500 miles.
I do 500-600 miles, bring the car back to you.
Yep.
And then you check over obviously the engine, replace the oil.
Yep. So basically for us, it's a nut and bolt check around again, just make sure, obviously a conversation with yourself, make sure you've had no issues with the car at all. Yeah, and then what we're doing is an oil and filter change, back in the car, then you're good to go.
So this shouldn't smoke on startup now?
You are going to get some smoke on startup.
Ooh, okay.
It's a turbocharged car.
Right,
It's
okay.
a 3.3 turbo. You're going to get some. I'm not going to lie to you. You will get a puff of smoke now and again. More so probably when it's cold. More so probably because of fuel in as well. Because obviously when these fire up, they're putting a lot of fuel in there. So you're going to get some. Not smoke which is going to hang around and bellow out everywhere.
Which
like
is
that.
what was happening previously.
Yeah. So you're going to get a little puff. But like I say, it needs the bed in.
And when you took the car for a test drive,
Yeah.
how did it feel?
Well, like I said to you before, I didn't want you pushing it too much.
So you pushed it for me?
Yeah, I couldn't resist it. Yeah, with the modifications it's got to it, it spools up really quick. It's not like a normal 3.3 turbo where you're sat there waiting for it to go. You can hear the turbo trying to go.
Yeah.
On your digital boost gauge inside the car, it's reading 16 psi, which is over a bar boost. It'd be interesting to see what it produces once we run it in on a rolling road.
I have got somebody who's got a rolling road, and he has suggested that we get the car over to him. So once we've done that, you've refreshed the oil and you're happy with the way the car's running, we will get a rolling road done. Should we just give it a fire up? Okay. Small puff of smoke, you expect that anyway, but it didn't have that big sort of plume of smoke that we used to have before. It's running very sweet, idling very nice.
It does, it goes, yeah.
Right, now the hardest part. He's smiling, I'm not. Believe you and me, I'm not smiling.
I've just done the hardest part.
The bill. Shall we talk money?
Yeah, do you want me to rev this up a bit so you can't hear?
No, not really, no. Okay.
Right, sir.
The dreaded bill.
So, brief overview of what we've written at the top, what it came in for. Check over for smoking on startup. And obviously we carried out the compression and cylinder leakage test for you. So then after that, obviously we discussed it, remove engine and gearbox, strip the engine, and it says there, replace the following parts. So you've got a list of the components down there that we've pretty much talked about outside that we've gone through and replaced. Yeah.
That's the total bill?
Yeah, yeah.
In total?
Yeah.
Oh,
Drinks are on you tonight.
cheap. £4,746.
Yeah.
That's cheap. It's a lot less than you quoted me.
There you go, good.
All right.
Yeah.
Right, that's fine, it's done.
And then you can go to the second page,
I knew this was coming.
which then gives you the over list of the labour, the total parts.
I'd sort of worked out and calculated from our previous discussions we're going to be there or thereabouts. So for you guys, the total bill included the dreaded VAT.
Yeah, that's the killer.
It's £11,389 and 91 pence. It's a lot of money.
Yep.
But then you've done a lot for that
It's a lot
money.
of work. Yeah.
So I'm not overly shocked actually. I expected that. It's a lot of work you've done, a lot of labour, a lot of man hours, a lot of scratching your head. I don't think there's any more grey hairs.
No grey yet. No, not yet.
So does that include me coming back and you changing the oil?
So that includes the labour for when you come back,
Okay.
changing the oil. But all we ask is just pay for the oil when you come back in. That's it.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And that's 500-600 miles, is it?
Yeah, 500 miles, come back in.
Can I drive the car hard or?
You can, just don't take it on a track day. That's
I'm
all I
not
ask.
planning to do that. But I can give it beans.
You can give it some, yeah.
Okay, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's pay for this.
Yep.
And we will be on our way.
That's yours.
My keys. Let's get out of here. Guys, it's a couple of days on and I haven't really driven the car since I picked it up, parked it up, because the weather was pretty bad. Today the sun is out. What a glorious day, and what makes it even better is that I'm in my 964 turbo, and what a car. On the way back from Northway, I did give it some beans because Paul did say to me, drive it like you stole it, but just don't take it on a track. So there's no concerns about me revving it hard. I don't need to stay under 2.5 or 3,500 RPM. Just drive it like you stole it. So I'm gonna try and do that now on my normal loop that I do. Now the drive back was fantastic. Starting up this morning, there was zero smoke, and this thing sounds absolutely naughty. So starting up this morning, there was zero smoke, and that is totally different to the way it was before. When I would start the car previously, there would be a fair amount of smoke. In some cases, quite embarrassing, the level of smoke. Zero smoke today, so I can say categorically that the issue has been fixed. And we're only sort of 40 miles in post picking the car up, and I know Paul said he'd covered about 50 or 60 miles as sort of a running in before they gave the car back to me. So now, does the car feel different? Now, it could just be in my head because I haven't had the car for a couple of months, but I've got to say, this thing is just super quick. I know it's nothing compared to modern day 911 turbos. My 996 Turbo S will absolutely destroy this in every area bar looks, but it's just the way this car delivers the power. And as Paul said to me the other day when I was collecting the car, there's something about this particular turbo, the way it's been built and the way it's been modified, not by me, by previous owners. They've really managed to improve what was already a great car to something that's absolutely fantastic. Remember, stock 320 brake, give or take, 3.3 single turbo, but just listen to that. This thing goes. And yes, it is a little bit tail happy, as I just felt there. It's a little bit twitchy on the back, so when you are coming out of a roundabout, you have to be careful and have your wits about you, especially when the road is damp. Today it's not. So yeah, the car does feel quicker. It could be in my head, but at some point I need to get it on a rolling road and get a true indicator of what the power delivery of this car is. So, right, let's give it some off boost, on boost. It is super quick, super quick. It puts a smile on my face. No, don't get me wrong, I do own quite a few quick cars. 992 GT3 RS, the 996 Turbo S, my 997 GT3. But the way they deliver the power is totally different to this. This just is a grin from ear to ear. I could sit in this car all day, taking into account how much fuel's in the tank, and just drive the absolute nuts off it like I stole it. Before I end this video, I've got to say a massive thank you to Northway Porsche, the whole team, Ray, who's the owner, Paul, Lee, everyone looking after me, looking after the car, addressing the issues, looking after me on price. Yeah, you know, earlier on you did see that bill and you're probably thinking, well, Raj didn't shed a tear, he wasn't upset. I'd already, in my head, I already knew what the number was going to be roughly, so I'd accepted that it was going to be a big bill. And considering the amount of work done, I don't think it was as big as it could have been. So Northway Porsche did give me a level of discount because I do give them a fair amount of business, and I do send a lot of my friends and whoever asks me on Instagram to Northway Porsche. If you have got a Porsche, I will always recommend you to go to Northway Porsche. And because they get a lot of business out of that, they look after me. Whoa! See what I mean? This thing is crazy. Wow. Absolutely wow. So guys, Northway Porsche, their details are down below. If you need anything from just simple servicing work or a full engine rebuild, as I've done in my 964 Turbo. Drop them an email, give them a call, speak to them. Great bunch of guys. They will look after you, and they're always transparent and always honest. So guys, make sure you give them a follow. Let me know what you think of my 964 Turbo build. And some of you are asking, why am I documenting this? Well, at some point, maybe one of you want to do an engine rebuild and you want an idea of costs and the levels that sometimes you need to go to get the car done right. Also, the work that I've done now, it's done. This engine does not need to be touched. It's a complete engine rebuild. Car's done 110,000 miles. This car is good for probably another 100,000 miles. And whoever the next owner may be, because at some point I may look to sell the car, because ultimately my dream is to have a 3.6 turbo. So whoever the next owner may be, once they've watched the videos and they've seen the invoices, any concerns that they may have about this car have been fully addressed, and they are there in black and white, because I've been totally honest and transparent in the videos. So guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you smash the like button. That's not the end of this car. I'm sure there's going to be a few other mods that I will do. I am going to get it on a rolling road. I have spoken to somebody who's local, and once it's running, we'll get it on a rolling road, because I know everyone loves to see cars on a rolling road. Until then, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to my personal channel, Raj's Garage, and I'll be back again soon on another episode. Thanks for watching, guys.